So, namaste. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for your participation. So, currently I am in Chicago. So, in the meditation hall, you can see the Guru's picture in my back. So, we'll start with a small prayer. If you like, you can close your eyes. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. I am offering my prayers to God, to all the masters, and my pranams to all of you. Once again, good morning, namaste. So a few days ago, so the whole world celebrated the International Yoga Day. And this was the 9th year of celebration. It started in the year 2015. So if you know the history, where the Prime Minister of India, who proposed the United Nations to accept 21st of June as the International Yoga Day. So it was accepted by the United Nations. And interestingly, this year, the Prime Minister of India had come to the United States on Yoga Day. And he actually led the yoga session, and they broke the record where people participated from 135 countries. And it was a beautiful celebration. And I was listening to some of the talks given by some of the guests. And that in the same morning, Guruji sent a message about the International Yoga Day. And the message that Guruji sent, yoga is not just the physical exercise or some breathing exercise. It is much more than that. Yoga teaches us how to live. And the Prime Minister of India, he communicated exactly the same message. And I thought maybe he read Guruji's message. It was very funny. And many other the guests, they spoke. And the mayor of New York, he also spoke beautifully the message of yoga. Said the what yoga is teaching, not just exercise, it is teaching us the ahimsa, the concept of ahimsa, non-violence, and many other important aspects of life. It was beautiful celebration, and many people enjoyed. So as we are celebrating the International Yoga Day, so here I would like to remember the 4 great masters. 4 great masters of mankind. One is Lord Shiva, who is known as Yogeshwara, the Lord of all the yogis. And most of the yogic discussion you will find from the life of Lord Shiva. The second master is Lord Krishna, who is known as Yogeshwara. You see the difference, Yogi and Yogeshwara. Lord Krishna is the master of yoga. Lord Shiva is the master of yogi. This is the difference. And especially from the teachings of Lord Krishna, Now you will see in the Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is known as Yoga Shastra. It is a scripture on yoga. The third master is says Patanjali, who is the father of yoga philosophy. So from his book, you may have read Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And the fourth master is Paramahamsa Yoganandaji, who is the father of yoga in the Western countries. So these are the four great masters, and they have contributed a lot to the creation. What we see the creation in its beautiful form, especially in the field of yoga, these are the masters, their contribution. Of course, there are many of the masters. They also taught after these masters, they are also, the great masters. So what I would like to focus on today, some of the teachings of Lord Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita. As I mentioned, Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture that was appreciated by all walks of life, whether they believed in God or not. But they accepted Bhagavad Gita as their guide. It is a scripture on yoga. Various aspects of yogic life, various aspects of yoga is beautifully mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. As you know, there are 18 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita, and 18 types of yoga are taught in the Bhagavad Gita. Each chapter is named as some name related to yoga. So each chapter is focusing on specific aspect of yoga. As you know the story in the background, where Arjuna was not agreeing to go for the war, and to convince him, Lord Krishna started teaching Bhagavad Gita, where he communicated different types of yoga. In the third chapter, in the sixth chapter, chapter 6, Lord Krishna directly pointed to Arjuna and communicated one specific message. Oh Arjuna, I want you to become a yogi. Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Oh Arjuna, I want you to become the yogi. It is the chapter 6, verse number 46. Let me share the screen. So this is the verse you can see on your screen. So this verse says, tapasvibhyadhiko yogi, jnanibhyapi matodhikaha, karmebhyascha adhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. You can look at the last line, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. You can read the meaning. Oh Arjuna, you should try your best to be a yogi. Why? And in this specific verse, he has taken the name of 4 kinds of seekers. The first kind of seeker is tapasvi. What is tapasvi? Tapasvi means, anyone who does lot of austerity. They live a very detached life. But the problem with this tapasvi, that somebody accept the life of detachment, or vairagya, that is the means, that is not the goal. Goal is God. But what they do, They don't go beyond their austerity where they cultivate true love for God. And here the goal is more of showy nature than the actual practice. That is known as tapasvi, what Lord Krishna is referring here. And here I remember uh, the story of, it is a true story of two renunciate monks of the tapasvis. They lived in the Himalayas. And usually in the winter time, because it is so cold in the winter, in the daytime they usually slept on the straw. In the daytime they will bring the straw out to dry it under the sun, and in the evening they will take it inside. They would do one day, the two of the monks or the renunciate, you can say, they are living close to each other, two huts. And while drying the drawer, so one monk has taken the space of another monk, little bit space in front of his cottage. And they both are arguing and fighting. How dare you take the space from my side? Hello. I mean, you all are tapasvis, you left everything for God. Now the person has taken a little space. Now you both are fighting. Is that what you want? That is not the goal. So here it is more of showy nature than the actual practice. Lord Krishna is saying, yogi is the one who is much more better than tapasvi, right? And now the second one you can see, it is known as Jnani Bhyapi Matodhikaha. Jnani means, anybody who um, spends a lot of time on reading the scriptures, on a lot of discussion, and they don't go beyond that. They are stuck there. Lord Krishna is saying, I don't want to become a Jnani. Then the third one is Karmi Bhyascha Dhiko Yogi. Karmi means, the ritualistic performers. They spend a lot of their time on doing lot of rituals. Again, they don't go beyond that. Lord Krishna is saying, I don't want to become ritualistic performers. Then I want you to become a yogi. The beautiful sentence, Tasmat Yogi Bhavarjuna. Tasmat Yogi Bhavarjuna. So direct instruction to Arjuna, I want to become the yogi because yogi is the best among all kinds of seekers. So now when Lord Krishna is asking him to become the yogi, and the question is, who is a yogi? We should know the definition of a yogi. The simple definition of yogi is anyone who practices yoga is called a yogi. For example, we are practicing Kriya yoga, or you are practicing asanas or any breathing method or anything you do unrelated to yoga, you can be called a yogi. But Lord Krishna gave a definition of a yogi. So what is the definition of the yogi? Let me share another screen. So what is a yogi? Okay, if you see this, anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karotyah sa sannyasi cha yogi cha no niragni nacha kriya. So that person is a yogi and a sannyasi, one who does the action without any result, or not just by giving up the prescribed duties. Very interesting. Who is a yogi? Lord Krishna is saying the same person as a yogi is also called sannyasi. One who does all the actions without expecting much of the result. And that is the basis of the teachings in the Bhagavad Gita, that you should have right over your action, not over the result. That is the reason when Arjuna wanted to run away from the battle, Lord Krishna is saying, no, your duty is to fight the battle. You do not what the result will come. Don't worry about it. You continue doing what you do. So that is yogi. Also in another place, you will see in the Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna is saying, who is a yogi? Santushta Satatam Yogi. Who is a yogi? One who is content. One who is content in everything is a yogi. Now we can look at our life, see what we do, what we really want to achieve. Are we content? Guruji said, you can be content in everything, no, but not with your spiritual practice. If you are content with your spiritual practice, then you cannot go further. Santushta, another definition of yogi is Santushta Satatam Yogi, that one who is content all the time is called a yogi. So now let us move a little further. The specific instruction to Arjuna that you should become a yogi. Now the question is, what kind of yogi? Because in the Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 types of yoga, 18 types of yogi. Now in this specific chapter, chapter 6, when Lord is directly instructing him to become a yogi, what kind of yogi? Karma yogi or bhakta yogi or jnani yogi, what kind of yogi? And this instruction came in the chapter 6, and the chapter 6 is known as yoga of meditation. I want to become a yogi who can truly understand the, the, the reality of life from the meditation, means spending more time in the meditation, so that you understand the reality of life, you understand the goal, and when you understand the goal, you can move easily in the path. Right? Now, and it's very interesting now, see. At this point, Arjuna was confused. Why Arjuna was confused? Because in the beginning of the battle, you can see in the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna actually wanted to run away from the battle. He wanted to run away from the battle to become a sannyasi, to become a monk. Lord Krishna said, no, you cannot run away from the battle to become monk, because you are a kshatriya, you are a warrior. You should protect your kingdom, you should protect your people. You cannot just run away. That is not your dharma. You should do the karma. Karma is your priority. You cannot become a monk, run away. Now in the chapter 6, Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, I want to you become a yogi. Who is a yogi? Yogi is the same person as sannyasi. Arjuna must have thought, previously you told me, don't run away, don't become a sannyasi. Now again you are telling me to become a sannyasi. Right? Sannyasi means a monk. Because the yogi, the definition of a yogi and a sannyasi or a monk, they're the same definition. Arjuna is very confused. What's going on? Please clarify me. Lord said, oh Arjuna, remember this thing. The knowledge is transferred depending upon the ability of the students. Initially, when a spiritual seeker come and live with this master, what does the master tell? Master doesn't tell him, okay, you go and meditate for 10 hours a day. No, nothing like that. You meditate for small number of hours, but spend more time on seva, on karma yoga. By doing the karma yoga, your body will be fit. If your body is fit, your mind will be fit. And then after living for some time, slowly and slowly, the Guru is guiding the disciple, the spiritual seeker, slowly to move forward. So the knowledge is not transferred right away. It can take time depending upon the ability of the students. So now Arjuna, in the 3rd chapter, Lord told him, you do the karma. Now he's telling, now is the time. You should move forward. Don't just stick to the karma. Right? So in the path of yoga, one thing we should remember, in the path of yoga, the goal is yoga. In the yogi path, the goal is yoga, the path is yoga, the practice is yoga. Everything is yoga. You want to achieve your goal. What is the goal? Goal is the yoga. Yoga means the union. How to achieve? The means is yoga itself. Practice yoga to achieve the yoga. How does the success come? Lord Krishna specifically instructing Arjuna, success can come to a person by the sincere effort. By the sincere effort of the seeker and sincere effort of many lifetimes. Chapter 7, verse 19, you can read, you can refer chapter 7, verse 9. Lord is saying, after the sincere effort of many lifetimes, one can achieve the goal. Again in the chapter 6, verse 44, the Lord is saying, the purity can come to a person by sincere practice. It is known as prayatna, and then aneka janma samsiddha, by the sincere effort of many lives. What does it really mean? It seems pessimistic when you see, when you hear many lifetimes, you don't know what is going to happen. It is not really pessimistic statement, but in one lifetime, one can live many lives. It is possible by the sincere effort, but you think is not possible in this life, but with the sincere effort, one can achieve. Yoga Sutra says, Patanjali clearly mentioned that your practice should continue for a longer period of time. He said, Dirgha Kala. The practice should continue for a longer period of time. How long? We don't know. The question is how long? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. How long? Till you achieve the goal. Whether in this life you can achieve the goal, if you cannot, it will move further. It will continue like that. Depending upon your own effort, how sincere you are putting your effort, accordingly, you will achieve the goal. As I said, in one life, one can achieve the success of many lives. I know a spiritual master from India, and he wrote over 1,000 books, one person. Every day he would write 40 pages. Thousands of books one person has written. And he said, whatever I have achieved in this life, what I could achieve in 700 to 800 years. Effort. When Lord is saying, Aneka Janma Samsiddha, it is the effort of many lifetimes. If one is truly sincere, one can achieve in this life. Again in the chapter 6, Lord used the word called Purva Abhyasa. That is practiced in the past. Your sincerity at this point, in this life, your strong determination in this life, your one-pointed concentration in this life, it is because of the past practice. Past practice means whether in this life in the past or in the previous lives, what we are bringing with you. It is called Purva Abhyasa. So, in the course of the discussion, when Lord Krishna presented so many beautiful ideas, at one point again Arjuna got confused. What if I put a lot of effort in this life and I cannot achieve the goal? Will it not be broken like a cloud? For example, cloud in the sky with a strong wind, the cloud is gone. Will it not be gone like a cloud, broken cloud? Lord Krishna said, definitely no. Practice is never lost. So don't doubt the practice. Just keep on putting your effort. That is the way to achieve the goal. And the failure is because of two things, because of lack of self-effort and lack of trust, which is known as ayati and shraddha, lack of self-effort or doubt. The moment the doubt comes, the person cannot continue further. Many times we have seen for some time the seeker is nicely going, rising in the spiritual path, then something happens, the person is stagnant for some time. Stagnating is fine, then they go down. Gurudev said, the moment you are going down, that is your spiritual death. You should be very, very careful about this. Right? Ayati, lack of self-effort. So one thing for us, you know, take it as granted, continue your self-effort, don't doubt. Result will come after some time. Right? So here Lord Krishna wanted Arjuna to become the yogi. Then Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, I don't want to become any ordinary yogi. I want to become the best of all the yogis, the most exalted yogi. And that is the another beautiful verse you will see in the Bhagavad Gita. Let me share the screen. That is the last, verse of the chapter 6. Okay, so this is the verse. You can see yogi nam api sarvesham mat gatanantaratmana sadhavan bhajate yo mam samya yukto tamo matah. Of all the yogis, yoginam api sarvesam, of all the yogis, those whose minds are always observed in me and who engage in devotion to me with great faith, them I consider to be the highest of all. Right? What kind of yogi I want to be, you become the best of all the yogis. There could be many kind of yogis, but I want to become the best. Who is the best? This is the definition. And here you can see in this, in on your screen, in towards the end, you can see the word yukta tama mata. Yukta tama. Yukta tama means, the word tama means the best, the superlative degree is used. Right? Like good, better, best. Like that. The word yukta. Yukta means any ordinary yogi is called yukta. Little bit better than the ordinary yogi is called yukta tara. And the best of all the yogis is known as yukta tama. They are the best. Adi Shankara, while defining this particular on his commentary, he said, Ati Shayena Yuktaha. They are the best of all the yogis, engaged in the yoga practice most intensely. Most intensely. So, who can become the best of all the yogis? The first one is Shraddhavan Bhajate. You can see on your screen, Shraddhavan Bhajate. That means one who practices with love and trust. Again, the trust factor is coming again in this here, right? The when we practice for some time, then when you do not get the success, then we start doubting. Maybe there is something wrong. Let me do something else. I have been doing for some time, but I'm not getting success. Here, our masters made it very clear. The true success in spiritual life requires long-term commitment. Says Patanjali said, Dirghakal means you have to be committed for a longer period of time. How long, we don't know. You have no idea how long. But you should make sure that you are committed on this path. Lahiri Master said a beautiful thing. Who can achieve the samadhi? He said, one who can practice with faith, even without getting much success in the beginning. Only that person can achieve the state of samadhi. You may practice for many years, but you may not see the result. If you are truly practicing, you are definitely growing, but it is not visible outside. But definitely you are growing on the path. long-term commitment is needed. That is known as Shraddhavan. Bhajate. Bhajate means practicing meditation, because this word is used in chapter 6. Practicing meditation with faith. Then Guruji said another beautiful thing. Guru said that is time for everything. When the right time would mature, you will see the seed is germinating. You can plant a seed, it will take some time. It won't germinate next day. It will definitely take some time. And you have to have the patience to take care of the seed for some time till you see the seed is germinating. After it is germinated, again to take care to let the plant to grow to become the huge tree. To become the huge tree, you need a long-term commitment. Right? Shraddhavan bhajate. Then the second one, you can mat gatenantaratmana. That means one whose minds are always observed in me. One whose minds are always observed me. That means all the thoughts, all the thoughts are directed for one thing. It is written also in the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas Chintayanta Mam, all the thoughts directed for one goal. And you can see in our life, you know, what kind of thoughts are coming to us day and night. From there, you can know, or we can know where we are. So first thing is to learn to concentrate, learn to focus. That is the reason our gurus always tell one thing: you practice, 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 and practice. Through that, you will get the concentration. You will get the one-pointed mind. Once you achieve the concentration, then you can direct what you want to achieve. Then only all the thoughts can be directed to God alone or your goal alone. Right? Mad Gatanantara means one who is thinking of God all the time. And here is a beautiful example given, you know, by the spiritual master. They say, example, somebody is getting married, especially in India. After the marriage, when a girl is marrying, after the marriage is done, naturally all the time she gets the thought of her husband without anything. Naturally, the thoughts are continuously flowing just in one direction. Why? Because she once has accepted, I belong to my husband, my beloved. Acceptance. Then no need to force anything. Naturally, the thoughts flow. Right? So, first is, who can become the best of all the yogis? One who practices with faith and love, trusting God and the masters. The second thing is all the thoughts directed for the goal, for the purpose. Only that person can become the best of all the yogis. This is one verse where the Lord is teaching who can become the best of the best yogis. There is another verse in the chapter, in the same chapter, chapter 32, and you can see here. This is another beautiful verse. This verse says, Atmopyamena sarvatra samang pashyati arjuna sukhang ba yadi ba dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. And if you look at the translation towards the end, Arjuna, that person is regarded as the most exalted. The one who taking oneself as an example in all the situations. Atmanaha upamena, upama means the example. Taking oneself as an example in all the situations, then sees either pleasure or pain as the same. That person is regarded as the most exalted, right? So two things. Taking oneself as an example, and one who considers happiness and unhappiness are the same. And look at the first one, taking oneself as an example. For example, we have, you have your body, we have our body, I have my body. If my hand is hurting, do I think, well, my hand is hurting, why do I care? No, my hand is part of me. If if I'm having some trouble in my stomach, I'm suffering because my stomach is suffering, because I consider my stomach is part of me. But that doesn't happen when somebody else's stomach is suffering. When somebody else's stomach is hurting, we don't care. We don't suffer. Right? So taking this example, it is said that the best of the yogis, they consider others' pain as their pain. It doesn't mean that if somebody else's hand is hurting, his hand is hurting. No, but they feel the pain. You understand? They feel the pain of others. That is the reason they dedicate all their life for the betterment of the people. And the examples, if you have seen our masters and you see how they take care of people, even they will not take care of themselves for their own happiness, but they make sure that they take care of the happiness of others. And the word is used sarvatra. Sarvatra means in all. It is not just the humans. It is not just the humans. They can feel the pain of other beings. They can feel the pain of the plants. They can feel the pain of the animals and other beings. And here I remember a good story of our Gurudev. Gurudev was living in Miami ashram, and one day he was lying on the bed. Suddenly Gurudev told someone, bring a bucket of water, go to that particular plant. That rose plant in the front is suffering. I am feeling her pain. Go and water that plant. And you see, Gurudev is lying down in the bed, old person, but still he can feel the pain of the rose plant that is outside, that was not watered for some days. And the person went and poured the water. You see, Sarvatra means they can feel the pain of all. And accordingly, they devote their life for the betterment of people. The reason they focus more on the spiritual aspect, because they know, taking care of the material things will not give you long-term benefit. Temporarily, you may be happy. That's why they spend all their energy in teaching the spiritual part of the life, so that eventually the person is free from all the sufferings. Right? So atma upamana sarvatra. Then the second one is sukhang ba yadiba dukkham. Whether happiness or unhappiness, still they consider as the same. See, happiness and unhappiness is part of the body and the mind. But once you experience your own self, and the self is bliss, ananda. If you are always in bliss, you don't care for little happiness, little unhappiness in the life. Usually when people get some success, they're super excited. They jump around and all kinds of things. When they lose something, they feel very sad. But that is not the case of the best yogis. That yogi is the best who can maintain the balance, whether in happiness or unhappiness. Again, in the chapter, 2, verse 70, where it is said that, just as the ocean remains undisturbed. Doesn't matter how much water comes in, ocean still maintain the balance. It is like the ocean. Apurya manam achalam pradishtam. So their life is never disturbed. That says we should reach certain stage. We should reach that state where we will not be disturbed. That is what Arjuna wanted, Lord Krishna wanted Arjuna to be. Arjuna, you are worried about the result of the war. You may get the success after the war. Again, even if you get the success, even if you get your kingdom back, again, don't get excited. If you get excited means you have not yet achieved. That's what I'm trying to teach you now. So beautiful. So as we discussed, these people can feel the pain and suffering of others. And depending upon the love and devotion of the devotee, if a devotee is truly dedicated to God, truly dedicated to the spiritual master, the spiritual master even take care of all their needs. And here I remember the story of a devotee. His name was Haridas Thakur. He was born in a Muslim family. It is very interesting story. He was born in the Muslim family, but he was chanting the name of Lord Krishna all the time. He had a vow. He had a vow to chant the name of the Lord 300,000 times a day. That will take 22 hours. So means in a day, 22 hours, he was spending all his time remembering the Lord's name. Sometimes he would chant loudly in the public. He was born in the Muslim family. 500 years ago, India, in some part of India was ruled by the Muslims. Most part of the India was ruled by the Muslims. Of course, they did not like the ruler did not like. Said no, he needs the punishment, and he was beaten to death. Up to that, he did not die. Very severely, they beat him so badly. Then they left him like that. After some time, people found lot of marks in the back of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his guru. His guru was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, when he was beaten, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, living in a different place, took all his that whip. So in this case, the person, the Haridas, when he was beaten, he must be thinking of his guru continuously. Oh, Guru, you are with me. I don't care whether I live or die. All my thoughts, everything is directed to you. And it was found out all the marks in the back of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So, as I said, if your love is true, if your trust is true, God will take care of the need. And this is one of the gist of the teachings in the Bhagavad Gita. There are many stories you can find in the history. In our life of Gurudev also. In the life of our Gurudev, this is a beautiful story. Um, I think when Gurudev was very young, in his young age, Gurudev found, there are some workers, they're working. There was a young pregnant lady. She was also working. Some construction job. She was pregnant. And she was suffering while working when Gurudev saw as a young boy. When Gurudev saw as a young boy, Gurudev felt a lot of pain. Gurudev could not move. Gurudev lied down, praying to God. After some time, Gurudev became conscious. He came back. He found that the person, that pregnant lady, is also healed. And he said, how does this happen? How could they feel the pain of others? So they are the best of all the yogis. That is what he said. Sukhang ba yadiva dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. Oh Arjuna, I wanted to be a yogi, not just any ordinary yogi. I want to become the best of all the yogis. Okay, with this much discussion, if you have any question, you can ask me. You can send me the In the message box, if no question, I can give a little time. In the meantime, please close your eyes. Concentrate in between the two eyebrows. Observe your breath. Lord Krishna wanted Arjuna to become a yogi. And the yogi is the one who does all his or her actions without expecting much of the result. Our gurus want us to become a Kriya yogi or yogi to continue our practice without expecting much of the result in the beginning. Lahiri Master said, only that person can truly achieve the goal. There is time for everything. If you truly put your effort, success is not far away, but we need the trust. We need trust and the commitment to stay on the path for some time. Let us pray to God and the Gurus to bless our life. Thank you all. There are two questions. The first question is that right? How to love love? How to love love? If I'm understanding this question, let me answer in my way. If you love you know, your children, or if you love your wife and husband, means you feel some attachment to the person. And when you truly love someone, you don't want a lot of distraction happen around. you focus more energy on that specific ideas or person so that you intensify our love. Same way, if you want to love God, if you want to love your practice, don't bring lot of distractions around. Slowly gather your energy in that direction, then only you can love someone. You can love somebody, some ideas. The second question is how many hours of Kriya meditation every day is recommended if one wants to intensify meditation to see some result while living with the family. Here what Gurudev has beautifully answered these questions beautifully. One is your own practice. Find some time to practice every day, whether one time or two times. That is one thing. That can give a small result. That is also required. Every day you spend some time, whether in the morning or in the evening, or two times a day. Parmas Yogananji said a beautiful thing. He said that at least once a month, or once in 15 days, or once in a week, four times in a month, or two times, or one time a month. One day you keep extra hour for your practice. You can decide. Today is the day, once a month, I will spend few hours in my meditation. And you plan yourself. Then Paramaswaganji said, then you can find your true love for God. Gurudev said, doesn't matter how much you practice in the meditation, but how much awareness you maintain in the day. Gurudev said, small meditation is very, very effective. In the work, you are working somewhere, wherever you are sitting by the computer or any other job. Can you take 5 minutes break? You are still on the work. 5 minutes break, think about it yourself. Do little practice, do little deep breathing. If you do this few times a day, 3, 4, 5 times a day, it is not that difficult. It's very easy. 5 times, not a big thing. If you do this, you will see that you are maintaining that awareness for the whole day. Through that, you will see truly you are growing. Not that you are meditating 6 hours a day or 5 hours a day, but how the awareness you are able to maintain whole day. That is what expected more. Definitely find time for your practice, but this is also what you please do. Find a small gap in between. In every 2 hours, take a 5 minutes break. Do little something, then you will see for next hour or so, you are able to maintain that awareness. That is what is much expected from everyone. That is what our gurus wanted to tell us. I hope I'm able to answer your question. Thank you so much for participating in the discussion. Okay. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.